While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Calling all Soccerholics! The highly anticipated soccer pop-up party of the season is back! Follow us to a different location every Friday night from 8 p.m. from May 10th to June 14th for the Barbados Lottery White Oak Rum 98.1 The One Soccer Stock Pop-Up Party. We bring you the music and giveaways, and you bring the vibes and the action.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From 98.1 to CBC TV8 comes the Soca Avenue, the sweetest soca hour in radio. It's artists with new tunes and some old sweet ones too, jamming on the Soca Avenue. Saturdays, join AON Skills and the crew down on Soca Avenue, all new on CBC TV8. Feeling the festival.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
The ultimate cricket showdown is coming to ESPN, and MCTV has got you covered. The ICC Cricket World Cup 2024 is here on ESPN and MCTV. Tune into MCTV channels 302 and 308, and don't miss a single six, wicket, or heart-pounding moment as top teams vie for the 2024 T20 World Cup. From June 1st to 29th, it's cricket you can't afford to miss. Tune into ESPN on MCTV, and for live radio coverage, tune into 94.7. Catch every moment of the ICC Cricket World Cup T20 action.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love crew.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to keep
Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning.
Good morning to you indeed. So good to have you in company on this Wednesday, June 12th, 2024. It's another Morning Barbados presentation, and I'm Tisha Hines. I'll be here with you until 8 a.m. Welcome to those of you who are joining us online on YouTube or Facebook. You know, we stream every day, all day, just for you. So good to have you in company today. And boy, do we have a show planned for you. We're going to be taking you down the region, talking a little bit about our young ones and how we can help them. And of course, sharing some fantastic activities that are happening. All across the Caribbean region, it's all about cricket. And here in Barbados, it's all about crop over as well. Plus, it's the season of emancipation. So lots to do, lots to see. And I know you're heading out to all the late night events. Want to make sure that you get that rest on as well. Wouldn't want you to be on the roads around Barbados having any accidents or anything like that. Want to make sure that we're all safe. Now, we're going to get started today by taking a look at another Caribbean island. We've heard so much about them. And if you've not been in recent times, it just might be the time for you to go back. And they're going to be here in Barbados. Many of them have arrived already, but more of them will be coming as they get ready for an expo here on Friday and remind us of why we need to travel the region as well. A lot of us look to the Americas and Europe when we have beauty and everything else we need right here in the Caribbean region. Samantha Thomas is a marketing exec with the Grenada Tourism Authority, and she just arrived and came straight to the CBC studio. Good morning.
Good morning, T. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
All right, so talk to me about selling your country before we get into exactly what will be happening on Friday and why your team is here. Talk to me about how it feels to be able to travel the world and tell the world all about Grenada.
All right, so we have a delegation of tourism stakeholders being led by our CEO of the Grenada Tourism Authority, Petra Roach. We have a number of hoteliers and private stakeholder partners. We're here in Barbados tomorrow and Friday. Tomorrow we're actually having an expo at the Sands Hotel. We're here to just give you a little taste of Grenada at the Sands. So we have a chef who's going to give you samples of our national dish, oil dong. We have stakeholders who's going to give you taste of the Grenada chocolate. We have 7 chocolate companies on island, so you have to get a taster sample, our chocolate, our rum, our oil dong. You get to interact with our hotel partners who's going to offer you deals. We even have our airline partners who's going to offer free. We have prizes. We're going to offer some free flights to Grenada. So we want everybody to check us out at the Sands. Tomorrow we start at 10 a.m. and on Friday we are having a dinner with our media and travel agent partners.
That's beautiful. Talk to me about all the things that you think make Grenada as unique as it is, often referred to as the spice
of the Caribbean. Yes. So Grenada, for me, it's not just about sand, sea, and sun. I feel like Grenada is this authentic Caribbean destination that really highlights the culture of the people. We're big on culture. It also highlights our sustainability initiatives, our farm-to-table experiences through our foods. Of course, we're the Spice Island, so we do use a lot of our natural ingredients in our cuisine that makes it taste and as a burst of flavors in our foods that we create.
All right, now with this oil down,
yes,
you know I'm going to have to take you to task.
Yes.
When it comes to telling
yes.
you know, how you make this oil down, what's in it. And I happen to know oil down because I know a very lovely lady whom I've known since I was a child, and she's Grenadian.
Oh, nice.
So I had an opportunity to taste it, and I love it. But tell us, you know, what are the ingredients?
So for Grenada's national dish, oil dong, it is this one-pot mix of your meats, your provisions, and the really secret ingredient is the oil dong, is the coconut milk and the turmeric and the callaloo, the vegetables. Some people customize it. We know there's a lot of vegetarians. We also have like a vegan option. Trust me, you don't miss the meat because it's very tasteful, and you have all of that in a one pot steamed down, and it's just a burst of flavor because a lot of seasoning and ingredients in it that just makes it lovely.
I can just imagine. Samantha,
Yes.
what does it take to be able to pull something like this together, get your travel partners, the partners from the various hotels and so on, island, I would imagine, the destination, the adventures, you know, all of the wonderful things about Grenada. What's it like to be able to kind of get them together and determine where you're going to go to sell this product that is your home?
So I think the main thing here is relationships. We have an excellent relationship, not just in Grenada with our partners. We have an excellent relationship in Barbados as well. We have an excellent relationship with our airline partners. Like we came in yesterday and our lovely friends at the BTMI was there to welcome us, to greet us. So I think it's all about relationships and understanding the value of our tourism product, understanding the value of regional travel. As it stands, we have 3 main airlines operating the Grenada to Barbados route. We have Caribbean Airlines, Inter-Caribbean, and Virgin Atlantic. So we have the connection. So I think, you know, it's about letting people know that these are the options that are available. And Grenada is only 39 minutes away from Barbados. So why not leverage that relationship and market our destination for each other? Because just like we're here, we also welcome our BTMI partners over as well to do the same.
That's beautiful, and
Yes.
it's wonderful that Barbadians are going to be able to experience
Yes.
Grenada really firsthand,
Yeah,
as we would say, because you are here and bringing all of that excitement to us. Tell us a little bit about your carnivals, because I just saw a little snippet
Yes.
of some of what we can expect. I know that in the region we love revelry.
Yes. So Grenada's carnival, which is known as Spice Mass, I think this year's theme is an explosion of culture. So Spice Mass for us is not just about the fancy mass aspect. Grenada is big on the traditional mass. So you may know that we're known as the land of the jab jab. So jab jab and Juve morning is a big thing for us.
With oil.
With oil, but we do have a more sustainable option. You can utilize the charcoal, which is really good for your skin, but you still look like a jab. You're all black with your horns and your chain, and you get to enjoy the mass in a more eco-friendly manner. But yes, the oil, and there are paint options if you don't want to do. But I think if it's one thing you do in your life, you must choose. You must try jab jab at least one time. Yes? So spice mass, and then we have a lot of traditional mass aspect. We have the Veko, the Shortney, we have the Wild Indian. We have so many traditional mass aspect that we also want people to come and experience, because it's really worth seeing and experiencing.
What are some of the other major things on the calendar in Grenada throughout the year?
Grenada, right, we literally just wrapped up our Sustainable Tourism Conference with the CTO. That was a big one for us. That was actually the largest CTO conference in history. So that was a big one for us. But outside of Spice Mass, we have our Chocolate Festival, which happened in May. We have our Dive and Conservation Fest. Like I mentioned before, we're big on conservation and sustainability, which is happening in September. Grenada is not just, it is 3 islands, Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. Our sister isles have festivals as well. So Carriacou have the Maroon and String Band Music Festival. They have the regattas. So they're really big on regattas and sailing in Carriacou as well.
My early years in broadcasting, I worked on 900 AM here at CBC, and I got many calls from people on the island of Carriacou.
Yes, because we actually pick up some of the Barbados station really clear. Depends on which part of the island you are. So I'm not surprised at that at all.
Now, we know the place that tourism holds to Barbados.
Yes.
We are predominantly service industry, so we depend heavily on tourism for our sustainability. Talk to us about what tourism means and the development of tourism means to Grenada.
Tourism is a major economic contributor to our GDP. It's about 25% direct. So like Barbados, Grenada is heavily dependent on tourism as well. And we recognize that it is important to build on that. Barbados for us is our second largest regional source market. So Barbados for us, after Trinidad, which is our number 1, Barbados. So it's important for us to be here and to understand the importance of our travel agents for our tourism product and the development for tourism in Grenada.
Yeah, we don't want Trinidad to beat us on anything, so that's maybe a good thing to tell Bajans.
Yeah.
Trinidad beats us in being number one source
so
market for
imagine
Grenada.
Trinidad,
Absolutely
we get more
not.
Trinis than you guys. We need to remedy that. We need to get more Bajans coming over and experience Spice Mass. Exactly.
Absolutely. Talk to me about the places of interest, all the wonderful places that you simply must see, or activities that you must do when you head out to Grenada.
So things you must do when you come to Grenada. I would say you come to Grenada, you must try an oil down. First, we can start there. From the airport, you can try some oil down, you can try some nutmeg ice cream. But Grenada, as you know, has the world's first underwater sculpture park. So if for the dive enthusiasts, even if you can't swim or dive, there are snorkel options. With the life vest, of course, which is a safe option, you can get to visit and experience the underwater sculpture park. It's something worth seeing. And Grenada we're big on adventure, so there's lots of waterfalls, there are hikings, there's a sulfur spring, and we're also big on wellness as well. So the hiking to the sulfur spring is good for your skin. You get to the sulfur, you do a nice massage, a facial, you get a full experience.
All right, certainly sounds wonderful. So who are we reaching out to with the expo tomorrow? Who can come? Can anybody just come out and experience Grenada?
Yes, the expo is open to the public, so you can get to come and speak to the hoteliers directly. If you're planning a trip and you're not quite sure, visit them. They could help guide and say what option, what deals, what special offers, even the airlines in terms of how to get to Grenada. That is also a good opportunity for you to interface. And you can also meet the team at the Grenada Tourism Authority. Of course, our CEO is here, our marketing manager is here, myself is here. We can give you all the information you need. We can discuss collaborations. We can discuss farm trip opportunities. It's a holistic expo we're having, and we'd like for you to interact with us directly. We'll be happy to have everyone.
Beautiful. This year we're celebrating 50 years of our Crop Over Festival. How are things going with Spice Mass?
Spice Mass is good. Spice Mass was launched in May. So right now there's every weekend there's some activity, there's some event. Right now it's the build up of Spice Mass. Spice Mass days is actually August 12th and 13th. Is actually a week after Crop Over, exactly a week apart. So once you finish jumping for Crop Over, Grenada is right a hop and skip over. You can visit Spice Mass.
And then, of course, with 3 airline options, that makes all the difference.
It makes.
I know that is, really the center of what a lot of tourism authorities across the region have to do, ensure that people can get to the destinations, because sometimes throughout the region, travel has been so prohibitive.
It is really that. And the beautiful thing is you literally do not have to island hop to get between Grenada and Barbados. It's literally a direct flight. With the Virgin options, into Caribbean and Caribbean Islands is every day. Virgin is twice a week, Tuesdays and Saturdays. So there are options to choose from.
All right, that's beautiful stuff. We heard you when you talked about that nutmeg ice cream as well.
Yes. So, I mean, we utilize a lot of our local fruits and spices, but that nutmeg ice cream, it hits the spot. It's a must try.
Who are some of the main figures from Grenada that you highlight as the heroes and the main builders of your nation as well?
I would say, well, as we're approaching our Olympics, we have to recognize our sportsmen. We have our Olympian. We have persons representing like Kirani James. We have Lyndon Victor. We have Anderson Peters. So right now we're in Olympic mode. We are watching. We're enjoying. They're doing well. They're representing. They're making Grenadians proud. I think right now, everyone in Grenada is a champion. If you represent your country, if you go hard for your country, you're an ambassador. If you do right by your country, I think everyone in Grenada is an ambassador and should be proud of themselves for that.
All right, what do you hope coming out of this expo, coming out of the dinner that will be happening later this week? What do you hope to take back home with you? No, don't tell me a suitcase of Bajans.
No, I actually want a plane load of Bajans, not a suitcase. I'm being very ambitious here. But I think we just want to strengthen and build on the existing relationship. We want to see, are we looking at the stats to know if we're getting more Bajans and if the work we've done here, it actually worked. So we just want to to drive more traffic to Grenada. We want more Bajans to get to not just experience Spice Mass and Grenada and the culture and the people. We really want to strengthen our relationships as regional brothers and sisters.
That's wonderful. Thank you for coming, first of all, and is being presented. It is a Discover What's New in Grenada Expo, as well as a Taste of Grenada dinner. And it's all happening this week. The expo is tomorrow at the Sands Barbados Hotel, and it runs from 10 o'clock in the morning.
10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Yes?
So just come early to get your oil down.
Oil down from 10 o'clock in the morning.
Samples. It's an appetizer, so you can come back for more later.
All right, that's beautiful stuff. So you can come out and experience our Caribbean neighbor live, and they're here with many, many partners to be able to make it happen. All right, we certainly are going to make sure that we take that in and share some of it with you as well, or more of it with you. Samantha Thomas is a marketing executive with the Grenada Tourism Authority. I'm going to let you go back and get ready because I know you guys have lots of things to do, have to get things in place. We have to say a special good morning to your CEO,
Petra. Yes, Petra, good morning. Yes, so Petra will be here. You would meet her. Once you come to Expo and dinner, she'll be on the ground as well.
I'll get to meet Petra?
I know you know Petra. You'll get to meet Petra again, your good friend Petra. Yes.
All right, good morning to you, Petra, and thank you so much. Good to see you and meet you, Samantha.
Thank you for having me.
Forward to it.
Thank you for hosting us, Barbados.
Yes, I still remember the ad. You guys used to play a lot of advertising with us before on 900 AM. Let's go Grenada.
Yes, there's the Let's Grenada Go Grenada campaign. Yes,
I haven't forgotten it.
Yes.
And then the strident, very pseudo American voice behind Grenada, the Spice Island. I haven't forgotten it.
Yes,
but it was absolutely beautiful, and it's great when we're able to collaborate in this way.
Yes.
And really just keep it in the region. Love that.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me. And
all right, so come out to the expo. It's at the Sands. You know, that's just along the south coast, so you don't have anything to worry about. And it's from 10 o'clock in the morning, goes through until the afternoon. Check it out. Who knows, your next trip might be to Grenada. All right, time for a break here on Morning Barbados. When we come back, we're going to have a great time telling you all about St. Mary's Church and a great initiative they have coming up. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Calling all Socoholics! The highly anticipated Soca pop-up party of the season is back! Follow us to a different location every Friday night from 8 p.m. from May 10th to June 14th for the Barbados Lottery White Oak Rum 98.1 The One Soca Stop pop-up party. We bring you the music and giveaways, and you bring the vibes and the action.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From 98.1 to CBC TV8 comes the Soca Avenue, the sweetest soca hour in radio. It's artists with new tunes and some old sweet ones too, jamming on the Soca Avenue. Saturdays, join AON Skills and the crew down on Soca Avenue, all new on CBC TV8. Feeling the festival.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience.
Welcome to the Cropover Sweet Spot, your go-to show for all things Cropover 2024. We'll dive into the big issues of the day with exclusive interviews with the entertainers, the experts, the movers and shakers of the festival, plus you, the audience. Get to join the conversation and share your views. Tune in to CBC TV8 every Friday night for the ultimate Cropover experience with yours truly, the Admiral. We're big on everything Cropover 2024. The Cropover Sweet Spot, brought to you with the kind compliments of Axel Finance.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So the St. Mary's Church, they're having a fundraising concert, and we have Angela Phillips joining us this morning. She's the event coordinator for the concert. Patricia Brathwaite is a member of the Parochial Church Council. So both ladies are here and representing in their colors to tell us all about all the excitement that will be awaiting us once we head on out to something in the music, our culture, our heritage, the concert. Good morning, welcome.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Wonderful to have you with us on this Wednesday morning. I had to think about that for a moment. All right, so Angela, talk to us all about this wonderful event that you're planning.
Yes, St. Mary Church. Music is nothing new to St. Mary because we've grown up on it. I mean, St. Mary's is almost 200 years old. And way back, we would have been the first church to have the Merry Men. Then we had the Samaria Jets, which was a steel pan. We also were the first church to have the police force. And now we are having something in the music, our culture, our heritage. And this started because over the years, we've been doing jazz in the yard because we are part of the heritage calendar. We didn't want to lose it. But a number of things happened during that period, and we had to look for something that would match jazz in the yard. So we decided, well, let's try a collaboration with Red Plastic Bag. We called him, and straight away he said yes, because he owed us at St. Mary. And we decided we were going to have this concert with him. But because he's having something later in the year, it's not fully about red plastic bag. So we had to come up with a theme. As I said before, St. Mary is about music. So whether it is calypso, whether it's gospel, contemporary, whatever, it's about the music. And as we go through the years, we realize that the music is part of the culture, which then becomes part of our heritage. And that is what we want to leave with this. But before I continue, I want Pat to talk about why we are here.
Well, go right ahead. I don't even need to stay. It's flowing so nicely. I'm here enjoying myself.
Yeah. Okay, so St. Mary, as Angela said, is part of the heritage historic Bridgetown and its garrison. So it's a heritage site, almost 200 years old. It's the oldest consecrated ground in St. Michael and the second oldest in Barbados. So that's where heritage is important to us. But we have now a problem with our roof. The roof needs replacing. It's leaking. And you know what time of the year it is. It's rainy time. So, you know, we're always conscious of the rain. Sometimes on mornings, Sunday mornings, the sexton has to go down very early if it has rained the night before to make sure that it's comfortable for the congregation. So we need to raise funds in order to repair the roof. That's where we're starting. Because it's a heritage site, we can't just do it any old way. We have to keep the essence of what it was. So we need to raise funds. We think it's going to cost us more than 500,000 Barbados dollars because the church is large and it's a quite large roof. So that's the main reason behind our fundraising at this time.
Well, that's a lot, and 199 years is a long time to be able to maintain a church. I know that you have a very active congregation as well. You know, it's a beautiful church, and there's a lot of history there, as you mentioned. It's an historical site, so we definitely want people to come out and be a part of it. Now, when is it happening? I see you have a big poster there that you're keeping to yourself.
No. Actually, it's on Saturday, June 22nd. So that's next Saturday.
Okay.
And we are invited the entire Barbados because St. Mary's Church, we can hold about 1,200. So we are expecting that amount. We are also asking the diaspora, because usually you find people would say, oh, I'm overseas, I would like to help you, but we can't because we're not there. We've opened it up because we've gone through ticketnation.bb. So there's no excuse for those St. Marians, past and future, to come out and support this event. It's going to be for a worthy cause. And the thing about it is that I think the lineup is going to be perfect. It's going to be perfect. We have the Mighty Gabby. We have Red Plastic Bag. Those two alone can carry the show. We have the Mighty Big Bay, Alex Cage, Mikey, Nikita, Basil Archer and friends. And the backing band is going to be Mahalia and 2 Mile Hill. The thing about it is that they've been working with Red Plastic Bag over the last couple of years. So they've done a number of different fusions with his music. So yes, you'll be hearing the regular songs, but in a different way, all for the church. And as I said, it's on Saturday, June the 22nd, starting at 5:30 p.m. because we want to make sure everything is finished in time for persons to get back home, get ready for church the next day.
Wonderful. Miss Patricia, tell me a little bit about your time with the church, your experience, as a parishioner, and, how it's been for you. What keeps you there?
Well, I'm a fairly recent addition to the church, just about 20 years.
Fairly.
So I previously went to Christchurch Parish Church, and then I moved to St. James, and a friend invited me to St. Mary, and because of her I kept on going. Of course, during COVID and everything, you know, you try to keep a connection, and the priest in charge at that time asked me if I'd be willing to serve on the parochial church council. So I said yes, and I've been on, this is my 3rd year, I think, and I serve as a treasurer, so they keep me busy and it keeps me going back.
Oh, that's
I
beautiful.
like community work, so, you know, it helps that I like that and giving my time as a volunteer.
And I know here in Barbados, the church for many years has really been the center of many of our communities.
Yes.
From having schools
Yes.
that are associated or affiliated or coming out of the church, having had classes in the churches and so on through the years. We look forward to hearing from you, Miss Angela, about your time with St. Mary's.
Well, I've been there, I'm not sure if it's 20 years, but it's long enough. And I always use this phrase, it's so hard to work for God, because that's what happens. As soon as you say to them, well, this is your talent and you want to work, and you ever put up your hand, that's it. And like Pat, I'm a member of the Parochial Church Council. I'm secretary. I am the chairperson of the Fundraising and Special Projects Committee, and also a member of the Stewardship Committee. And it just seems as though these two committees are going. Last year we were nonstop. But you know what? It feels good when you're working for God and when you're working for your church. I mean, St. Mary's Church is large and it takes a lot out of you. But especially coming out of COVID, when we are noticing that our congregation is coming back out, you know, it's a really good feeling. On Sunday mornings, we started out with this coffee morning. It was supposed to be for one morning. Now we're having it every Sunday after church, because we've noticed that people are no longer rushing to go
run
home.
away. Yeah.
And when we're doing the events, they're now asking, well, when is the next one?
Yeah, that's beautiful, because we know that church is about fellowship, and that's far more than just presenting hymns or talking and so on. It's about engaging with each other. Yeah. It's about building community.
Correct.
It's about sharing, and that's what this event is all about as well, ensuring that we can have St. Mary's here for another 200 years, to be able to share with future generations of Barbadians. So again, it's coming up this Saturday.
Next
Saturday. No, it's not this Saturday.
It's not this Saturday.
It's next Saturday.
Next Saturday. We couldn't have it this Saturday because Bag said it was his birthday.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So it's next Saturday. It's next Saturday, the 22nd. And I want people to understand that we're going to have an intermission. We're having all of these artists. But then the second half, this was going to make it different, because Red Plastic Bag is not just going to be doing 2 songs. It's the entire second half. So those Plastic Bag fans, those Gabby fans, those Mikey, Nikita, Bit, Alex Cage, 2 Mile Hill with Mahalia, you are in for a treat. We want you to come out. It's only $80. It's going to be for a worthy cause. And like I said, ticketnation.bb for those who are overseas and want to contribute to this worthy cause, because the roof restoration is a major project. Yeah.
All right, so some new arrangements. We're promised some new arrangements from the artists with the music, so we look forward to that as well. I want to thank you ladies for coming in. Angela Phillips, event coordinator for the concert, etc., and a whole lot more. She says the church is working her hard, but she loves it. And Patricia Brathwaite, a member of the Parochial Church Council as well. Thank you, ladies, for coming in and sharing. Thank you for the work that you do, because I know that makes all the difference. For some people, they come in and, you know, they see these beautiful structures and they take for granted that the pews are cleaned and the church is clean, and, you know, they can get up and the books are laid out and all of that. But it takes an entire team to be able to keep the churches looking that way.
So true.
So thanks so much for your work.
Thank
and
you.
make sure you guys come out on June 22nd and support this very worthy cause. Lots of artists will be there to share in the excitement as well, all to be able to, you know, work on the roof there at the historic St. Mary's Church. All right, time for another break. Coming up on Morning Barbados, we're talking about helping communities along through empowerment and other things. That's next.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it, Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
The ultimate cricket showdown is coming to ESPN, and MCTV has got you covered. The ICC Cricket World Cup 2024 is here on ESPN and MCTV. Tune into MCTV channels 302 and 308, and don't miss a single six, wicket, or heart-pounding moment as top teams vie for the 2024 T20 World Cup. From June 1st to 29th, it's cricket you can't afford to miss. Tune into ESPN on MCTV, and for live radio coverage, tune into 94.7. Catch every moment of the ICC Cricket World Cup T20 action.
We enjoy a game with Dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. You know, it's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Calling all Soccerholics! The highly anticipated soccer pop-up party of the season is back! Follow us to a different location every Friday night from 8 p.m. from May 10th to June 14th for the Barbados Lottery White Oak Rum 98.1 The One Soccer Stock Pop-Up Party. We bring you the music and giveaways, and you bring the vibes and the action.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Welcome to the Crop Over Sweet Spot, your go-to show for all things Crop Over 2024. We'll dive into the big issues of the day with exclusive interviews with the entertainers, the experts, the movers and shakers of the festival, plus you, the audience. Get to join the conversation and share your views. Tune in to CBC TV 8 every Friday night for the ultimate Crop Over experience with yours truly, the Admiral. We're big on everything Crop Over 2024. The Crop Over Sweet Spot, brought to you with the kind compliments of Axel Finance.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Just about 8 minutes to go before 7 o'clock on this Wednesday morning. I know a certain someone who used to call it hump day, middle of the week. So we'll see. All right, so we want to tell you all about Amar Empowerment Network, parenting program and youth empowerment programs as a part of the Parent Wise program overall. And to tell us more, we have, of course, Ambrose Carter, a very familiar name. If you've not seen him before, because you hear him more on radio, now here he is on television. So welcome, Ambrose. Lovely to have you here with us. Of course, you're no stranger to TV8. We've had you on before. And Dr. Kevin Kelman, same thing. Good to have you back with us here on Morning Barbados as well.
Good morning, Tisha. Good morning, Barbados. It's wonderful to be here.
Good stuff. Before we move into all the work that you're doing with young people and around the communities and so on with parents, talk to me about the Empowerment Network itself.
Well, of course, Tisha, thanks for having us. And it's great to be here. As you know, Amar Empowerment Network, we empower individuals, especially the youth, to live their lives guided by a strong moral and spiritual center. And we've been doing that for many years. And we are happy to continue that. We have a special interest in parents, in the family, and also the elderly, yes? And we want really to empower individuals, like we said, to really be better citizens, to make Barbados better. And so therefore, we are happy to be a part of the Parent Wise program nationally. We at Amar, we start in St. Andrew. We had our first major session under the umbrella of Parent Wise last week. Of course, we've been doing this for many years, as you know. And so therefore, we are happy to be grafted in right now. And as part of that, what many people do not know is that we have had, because individuals would have seen me and Maria, and Dr. Kevin, part of the team, one of the team members, have been with us for a while, he and many others. Good? So this gives individuals an opportunity to see a lot more of individuals behind the scenes of Amar Empowerment Network.
That's beautiful, and thanks for the work you do. Dr. Kevin, talk to us about the shape this work takes in terms of how you're able to share with, communicate with, empower young people and parents through these programs.
Right. So what is unique about this program is that this program is not only an educational or informative program, but it's a support program. So we encourage persons to come out and share of their experiences, and also to get advice and counsel from other persons who would have had similar experiences in parenting. And just to be clear, this parenting program is not just for parents. It's open to grandparents. It's open to caregivers. It's open to anyone who is taking care of children or who has some interaction or engagement with children. Hence the reason why I'm also part of it as a medical doctor as well. So it is a very comprehensive program. It talks about a lot of the areas and issues that parents grapple with nowadays. And we can always improve on our parenting skills. None of us get it right. None of us are perfect. And even though you may feel that you're doing a good job, there's always something that you can learn. There's always something that you can glean from someone else. And so this program is unique in that perspective. It is geared towards empowering parents and empowering caregivers and those who look after children and engage children to be more effective in their communication, more effective in their engagement, more effective in terms of their perspective of how they are going to raise future men and women to be impactful, to be influential, to be powerful, because that is what we want, right? That is what we want at the end of the day. A lot of us feel that we're raising children, and I look at it from the perspective that we're raising future men and women. And once you have that perspective, it changes the way that you look at that child, because at the end of the day, children come with a clear slate. And we as adults are responsible for what we write on that slate.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, what we do, how we communicate, how we treat our children, how we speak into the lives of our children, so our words matter. Our actions matter. They watch us.
Absolutely.
They learn from us. Will determine the type of man and woman that we have at the end of the day, whether they're going to be an asset to society or whether they are going to be a detriment to society. And as all of us know, we want at the end of the day to have strong, assured, confident, assertive, and
Positively
influential men
members
and
of
women.
Society, absolutely.
Yes, please.
So how do we become a part of it? How are you going to share with the many publics whom you serve or the people that you're reaching out to?
Okay, great, Tisha. And what Dr. Kevin did not say really is, or said in all of that you might have missed, is that one of the ways to empower youth is to empower their parents to be better parents.
Didn't miss it.
No. You might have missed it. Okay, great. The thing is, so we were in Showy Village last week. So we're parenting in the village. We're going into the village. We're asking those individuals to come out, those parents and those target areas, like Dr. Kevin said. If you are a caregiver, if you look after a child, if you're thinking about becoming a parent, it is for you. So we were in Showy Village last week. We had over 80 individuals in the building. 15 were children themselves. On June 15th, we are at Hillaby Nazarene Church there.
Okay, where in Showy Village? Exactly.
Showy Village, New Testament.
Okay, Showy Village, New Testament.
Yes, we were at Showy Village, New Testament Church over there. We're going to these churches in the community because we want everybody to come out. Now, we want to be in the community centers, in the schools, etc. We'll go where we can get in, but we want the village now to come out, because in parent-wise, we believe that wise parents can make better children.
Okay, so in Showy Village, what time?
Sorry, we are in Hillaby. We are in Hillaby next Saturday, the 15th. We were in Showy Village last week. We were at Hillaby 4 to 6.
4 to 6 p.m.?
Yes.
And it's on Saturday?
It's on Saturday.
Okay.
Right? And we want everyone to come out. The topic we are dealing with is 10 tips for effective parenting this Saturday. The next Saturday, we are at Hillaby again. And what we are dealing with there is 12 tips for success as a single parent. Now, you know, we have many single parents. So that'll be the following Saturday. The next Saturday, we're in Chalky Mount Wesleyan Church. Resolving conflict successfully would be the topic over there. And we are in Chalky Mount again on the 6th of July. And we have Ask the Doctor. So you can come and ask the doctor your medical questions, and guess who the doctor will be?
Let me think about it.
So you can come and meet Kevin in person on that one and ask him your medical questions. You know you have to pay a lot of money to go to the doctor and get medical advice. On this day, you come and get all of it for free. Teacher.
Absolutely. I think separate and apart from that, when you have these one-on-one engagement sessions, they're so different from people kind of rushing in and out of the doctor's office.
Right.
There are a lot of people who are shy. I must say good morning to the entire medical fraternity. But, you know, some of you, it's a little difficult to get the questions in,
Yes.
particularly because you're on the move. So
Yes.
you might come in and you treat and go, and sometimes people are out and they don't feel any more comfortable with the diagnosis or what have you, but they're not comfortable enough to ask. So these sessions, I would imagine, make all the difference.
Yes,
What's the feedback been like coming from the people that you're engaging with at the various churches across the island?
You know, Tisha, let me jump in here quickly before Dr. Kevin come in. Dr. Kevin said it is support group sessions where individuals come and share. They're those individuals that may be falling through the cracks. So one of the things we do, and I'm glad you asked that, is because we give out food hampers, a basket of goods, to individuals that may be in need, those struggling families. And you would have heard some of the ministers mentioning about the family conflicts that, these conflicts that are going on in families. So what we want to do really, instead of just only giving information, we want to provide a support mechanism. So we get the feedback that, you know, we are thankful for this. We are glad you are doing it. Individuals are thankful for this. And we need to allow individuals to know it is a government-sponsored program. So therefore, it is the care that individuals are seeing coming from people that want them to do better. So they are thankful. I mean, the individuals are calling for help. And they recognize that we are here to help. Even when the sessions are over, you can call us at AMAR, and we will take care of any additional needs that you may have or point you in the right direction. Sorry, Kevin, over to
beautiful. You. All right, well, I want to thank you, gentlemen, for coming in and sharing with us. And it's a wonderful initiative to be able to get into the community, I would imagine, and engage at this level is a pleasing thing. Yes?
Yes.
All right, so thank you so much, Dr. Kevin Kelman, part of the AMAR Empowerment Network, along with Ambrose Carter, and they're heading out into communities all across Barbados to be able to work with, help, and share in all that's going on with us and help move us to a good place, all right? So listen out for when they will be close to you. There's nowhere in Barbados that's far, so you might be able to take a nice drive to Shuri Village and take in some of what they're sharing on Saturday at Chalky Mount. Are you sure? Is Hillaby on Saturday? Okay, Hillaby. New Testament.
Nazarene.
Hillaby Nazarene. I know Hillaby Nazarene very well. I've been to church there on a number of occasions. Yes? So good morning to all of you, and thanks for coming in.
Yeah,
thank you.
This most certainly won't be the last time you see them. All right, time for a break. Coming up, we're talking to Ika about an initiative that you simply want to hear more about.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Affairs segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb, and together we will travel the world.
From 98.1 to CBC TV8 comes the Soca Avenue, the sweetest soca hour in radio. It's artists with new tunes and some old sweet ones too, jamming on the Soca Avenue. Saturdays, join AON Skills and the crew down on Soca Avenue, all new on CBC TV8. Feeling the festival.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
My friend, you don't plan to get it. Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning and welcome back to Morning Barbados. The time has quickly gone by. Let's see what time it is. 6 minutes after 7 o'clock. I have to say good morning and welcome to Mr. Alistair Glean, who is the ECA representative here in Barbados. And he has brought along a gentleman who he says has gotten him out of the screen and into the studio this morning, Dr. Benjamin Adam. And they're here to talk all about the National Data Infrastructure for Climate Decision and what all of that means. So good morning, gentlemen. Good to have you with us.
Good morning. Good morning. Good to be here, Tisha. And indeed, it's a pleasure to be here in person.
All right. It's good to have you here in person, sharing and not looking at you on the screen. So let me just get that out there again. And maybe we can get you in studio.
Of course. I promise.
To share in what's happening. So I'm going to let you set the scene as to, you know, why we're here today and sharing more about the fantastic work that ECA is doing.
Well, I can't take all the credit for this. This is primarily an initiative that has been spearheaded by the Commonwealth Secretariat in collaboration with the CARICOM Secretariat, Open Society Foundations in collaboration with ECA, and the host entity is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And we are looking at national data infrastructure and how it can benefit agriculture and data generally. So let me allow my colleague Benjamin, who is the expert, and he can tell us about today's activities.
All right, excellent.
Thank you, Alistair, and pleasure to be here. So my name is Benjamin Adom, advisor at the Commonwealth Secretariat. ICA is our partner here in the region, and it's good to collaborate and do some of these activities in the region because the Commonwealth Secretariat, we don't have offices in our countries. So national data infrastructure, so if you talk about infrastructure, you give an example like road infrastructure in Barbados. And most of the time, people just understand it as the tarmac on which the car drives. But the infrastructure is more than just the tarmac. It's more than just the technology. So we have developed a framework, the Commonwealth Secretariat, we have developed a framework to explain data infrastructure at country level. So we are taking you know, the analogy of road infrastructure. And we are saying that road infrastructure should look at, you know, technology, policy, administration, and governance. If you take a road infrastructure in Barbados, you have the technology, which is the tarmac. You have policies, the guide on how to use the tarmac, like, you know, one-way, speed limit, all kinds of things. Those are the guide, the policy. Then you have a business model as to, you know, you are driving on the road, you need to pay road tax and all kinds of things. And then there's an entity that makes sure that all these are followed. So how do we apply that to data infrastructure at country level? So between today, tomorrow, and Friday, we have invited, as of now, over 80 people have registered, multi-stakeholder dialogue with even countries from other regions in the Caribbean here. We are coming to discuss this framework that we have developed. And this is not the first time we are doing this. We have done it in 2 countries in Africa. Last month we were in Bangladesh. And then this is the final one for us to learn the lessons and come out with an updated framework that we can use to advise our member states to develop this data infrastructure for countries.
And that's very, very important, particularly as we're just seeing the rest of the world, even, you know, major countries, just kind of even getting the way that they manage data and what governs what they do and all of the other things you talked about in place. So in great part, we're playing catch up with what's happening with the developers and all of the major tech companies who are taking over in major ways. how does shaping how we manage data really impact us? And if we want to go back to the analogy of a road structure, where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. So how does a company or how does an organization like ICA consider how this impacts you by shaping the way that we look at, institute, manage, govern data collection, dissemination, etc.?
Thank you. No, I'm the tail ender here in this batting, but let me see what I can do. For ICA, this is important. We have a focus on digital agriculture as one of the pillars on which we rest our work. And we recognize that if we are to make decisions for agricultural production, if we are to engage in sustainable food production, we talk about 25 by 25, reducing our food import bill by 25% by 2025. We need to have more sustainable food production. In order to do that, we need better information to allow producers and policymakers to make key decisions that will drive their activities. And if it is that we are to have this information, we need sound data, and we need to collect that data well, store it, analyze it, and share it properly. But that data has to be managed. That data has to be protected. There's need for policies. There's need to consider the ethics behind data sharing and data collection. So for us, this sort of activity that we're doing with the Commonwealth Secretariat is critical. If we are to move forward, you're saying that we are catching up, and indeed, we need to not just catch up, but we need to move forward. If we are to be more engaged in precision agriculture and different means of sustainable production, particularly in the light of climate change, we want to be more resilient, we want to be more adaptive, we need the data, but we need the infrastructure on which that data can rest and be a bit more robust in its nature.
Now, this is a massive undertaking.
Yes.
Because we're playing catch up. So, for example, if you're starting from the very beginning and you're capturing a snapshot of data going forward, then that's one thing. But if you now have to harness information that's been there, you know, that can be a bit more challenging. What are some of the systems or subsystems that will be used to be able to put this structure in place that we then will be able to maybe tap into across the region? Because again, that will dictate how the information, and even if the information is shared.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good question. So the way we designed the dialogue today, day one, we're going to identify some of those existing investments in data in the region. And based on that, we are going to make decisions on how to do it. But again, based on the fact that we have done this in other countries, what we have found is that there are so many investments already in data, digital agriculture in our countries. And so there are multiple organizations like ICA, FAO, the World Bank, you know, all the banks, private sector. They are seeing the importance of data, and agricultural data, fisheries data, climate data. That is the future. So there are a lot of investment already. What is not happening is that these systems are not talking to each other. You know, they are doing the investment in isolation. And that is the addition that we are bringing in. We don't want to just paint the negative part that there's so much duplication, but at the same time, we want to paint the fact that those duplications are good if they talk to each other. So the first day today, for example, we're going to have some sessions that will showcase all the innovations, investment by the private sector, by the government, by UN bodies, NGOs, farmers, in agriculture, in fisheries, in climate, across, you know, the whole region. Those are going to be the basis upon which the infrastructure will be built. Because we can't start from scratch, as you said. You know, the developed countries are far ahead of us, and to catch up with them, we need to take advantage of what has been done already. And we know there's a lot going on in our countries. There's a lot of investment. So the Commonwealth Secretariat, together with partners, we're not going to start from scratch. We want to build upon what is already there. But the key thing that we are bringing in is to bring these pieces together so that they talk to each other, share data, reduce more duplication, and bring more efficiency into the services for farmers, for fisher folks, for climate, advisory services.
All right, I know sometimes when we talk about data and technology and agriculture, people kind of, you know, they're like, we're not there yet, particularly because people think of agriculture as just a hands-on thing and simply that. So when we look at examples of what's happening across the globe for many years in places like, for example, Israel and in Singapore in part and so on, how they're approaching the way they do agriculture, how does that influence programs like this, and how does that in turn influence where you go with the support that you offer for Latin America and the Caribbean?
Thanks for that, Tisha. That's interesting, because I know, for instance, the government of Barbados has been driving the move to enhance food production here in Barbados, and by extension collaborated other players in Guyana, Trinidad, Suriname, etc. And yes, we are looking at the technology from other countries, Costa Rica, Latin American countries such as Brazil, Argentina, and we need that sharing of experiences in order to enhance what we do. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. I think that's the basis on which we are having this discussion. But at the same time, we need a coordinated approach as a hemispheric organization. ICA is a technical cooperation agency. So we would collaborate with the very same players like World Food Program, the FAO is a key partner of ICA's, CARDI, etc. And we are working with other players to see how we can introduce the technology from these other countries to countries like Barbados and other countries in the Caribbean. Definitely we can't do it alone, and not just from looking at Latin America, but also, as Ben would have said before, there are persons who are doing different things here in the region, and we can tap into their expertise, but it requires a coordinated approach. And that's what we hope to bring with legs on the ground in the various countries, whether we have players out of St. Lucia or out of Jamaica that can influence how we do agriculture, digital agriculture, precision agriculture here in Barbados and other parts of the region.
All right, so you mentioned that there are going to be 80 people who, so far, give or take, who are a part of this particular move, this initiative. Talk to us more about that and the shape it takes here in Barbados.
Yeah, so just to add a point to what Alistair was saying about lessons from other countries, the good news again is that we have lots of innovators in our countries. In the Caribbean, the Pacific, you know, Africa, Asia, Commonwealth countries, not only the big countries. And for their innovations to work, data is the foundation. If you go to the big countries, they have the infrastructure in place. Because of that, their services are working, their systems are working, but we don't have it. So it's good to learn from Israel, from Korea, from US and all those. But we want to put emphasis on the fact that, look, we have lots of innovations in our countries. Lots of young guys who are innovating every day, and we need to we need to support them to do it. So the dialogue, it's very open. That's how we title it dialogue. It's not closed, it's very open. So we have online registration, and we work with our partners on the ground, our hosts, to share with institutions that are working in agriculture, fisheries, climate, data, finance, everywhere. So we have registration from the government, the fisheries, agriculture, the Central Bank of Barbados. We have all the UN bodies have registered, World Food Program, United Nations Disaster Risk and Response, as well as the private innovators. We have Farmers Association that are going to be there. And then, so it's very multi-stakeholder dialogue. And as I said earlier, it's going to be, the first day is going to be, diagnosis, identify what is out there, and then we build upon it. Going forward for the countries, beginning with Barbados, because fortunately we are here, even though it's a regional dialogue, we don't want to count our countries to see that the Commonwealth Secretariat is coming to build anything for them. No, we want them to take the initiative for sustainability. If we go ahead to build for a country, it's going to collapse after 4 or 5 years. So that's not the approach we are taking. That's why we are opening it up so that everybody understands, the private sector, the government, NGOs, researchers understand that there's a need for something like this. And the business part that I mentioned, if you don't build business model behind it, maybe the World Bank can finance it for 5 years, but after that, how will this infrastructure survive? So we want our countries to express interest. We want to identify champions from the countries, from both public and private, so that after the dialogue, we will continue the conversation with them. And so, as I mentioned earlier, we had it in Malawi, Ghana, and Bangladesh already. After the dialogue, we've started a conversation with them, with champions, and we continue the conversation, to make sure that there's buy-in from the country, that they are not looking up to the Commonwealth Secretariat to come and do it. If that happens and the infrastructure is built, then we will see it sustained over the years. So that's what we are expecting our countries to understand.
So you're going to be dependent on these various organizations and bodies to kind of disseminate and implement all that you come up with. Final word for you, Alistair, in terms of what we're doing. Long ways to go. I take wholeheartedly your point that there are many examples, even closer to home, to follow. And that's important and always wonderful to hear that that we are working together to be able to get to a better place. And it definitely should be interesting to hear some of the decisions that come out of this session.
Indeed. And we want to invite the public persons with an interest in data, the infrastructure, the ethics behind it, policy, entrepreneurs, users, and the users are important, the persons who are involved in the collection as well and the analysis. Come on board. Come down to the Accra. We're there for the next 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're going to have some dialogue. It's going to be driven, as I said, by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We have the Minister of Agriculture doing the feature address this morning. And we expect it to be a really interesting dialogue, a multi-stakeholder approach, getting persons from all over contributed, not just from Barbados, from across the CARICOM region and supported by the Commonwealth Secretariat. So we expect it to be interesting, we expect it to be dynamic, and as you said, we want to get results. We don't just want to have this dialogue and it just was a tick in the box. We want to really ensure that we move towards be able to manage the data, being able to establish the infrastructure that can allow us to make sound decisions going forward.
All right, excellent, and wonderful to hear that it is open to the public as well for people to be able to come in and share. So thank you for coming in and sharing with us, and wish you very much. Do you have to register online, or can you just come up to Accra and register to be a part of the presentation today?
So we had online registration form.
And that's finished?
Yes, because we are starting today. Come.
So technically you can't register any longer.
Online, yeah.
They got our hopes up for nothing. I'm kidding.
Yeah. They can come They'll come and register on site.
So they can register on site as well.
For 100 participants.
All right, good stuff. How about that? If you have a little time, a wonderful way to get out and share, particularly if you're in data science or data sharing, gathering, etc. I know this is a discussion that's near and dear to many of our hearts. So come on out and be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for your time. All right, time for another break here on Morning Barbados, but stick around. We have a lot more coming up.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
My friend, you don't plan to get it? Oh, Barbados. Hey, I'm KB Clean. Join me 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. right here at 94.7, the best and ultimate Bajan experience. My show is called Bajan to the Bone. Don't miss it. Bajan to the Bone. Weekdays right here and only here on 94.7.
The facts say Morning Barbados reaches an audience of over 50,000 and Newsnight reaches over 56,000. It's simple. When you advertise, you're getting your message to over 50,000 of your potential customers. Make the call to CBC Sales Department today and watch your business grow. Contact us at 467-5559 or email marketing@cbc.bb.
The ultimate cricket showdown is coming to ESPN, and MCTV has got you covered. The ICC Cricket World Cup 2024 is here on ESPN and MCTV. Tune into MCTV channels 302 and 308 and don't miss a single six, wicket or heart-pounding moment as top teams vie for the 2024 T20 World Cup. From June 1st to 29th, it's cricket you can't afford to miss. Tune into ESPN on MCTV, and for live radio coverage, tune into 94.7. Catch every moment of the ICC Cricket World Cup T20 action.
We enjoy a game with them.
You are prepared. We are partnering with General Accident Insurance Company to bring you a series of tips to make sure you are on top of things. Now, make sure that you make a record of your personal property by taking photos or videos of your belongings. Store these records in a safe place. Of course, that is dependent on exactly what they are. So if you have things that need to be kept away from water, for example, you want to make sure you have waterproof containers. And when we're talking about natural disasters, then of course you have to think about fireproofing. Very important documents from fires and things of that nature. So make sure that you have the correct apparatus and storage devices to be able to keep important data and documents safe. Of course, that tip coming your way compliments of our partners, and we'd like to thank them for coming on board and sharing with you. Make sure that you are hurricane ready. All right, we're going to continue here on Morning Barbados, telling you all about some very important things that are happening across the island. And I know it's a lot today. We certainly have been moving quickly, but I hope you're staying in step to ensure that you can indeed keep up with all that we're talking about. If you're heading out today, remember, before the gentleman left, they told us that you can still head on over to Accra and be a part of that discussion. In this particular segment, let's talk HR. We're getting into something very, very interesting today. We have Dr. Dwayne Devonish sharing with us, Professor of Management and Organizational Behavior, and we're looking at the National Workplace Wellness Policy. Good morning, welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for having me once again.
All right, good to have you in studio,
yes.
Sharing with us about this National Workplace Wellness Policy. Does every workplace have to have a wellness policy in place, is the question.
I think right now there is that urgency for workplaces to have some variant of a workplace wellness policy. And I think when you look at the development of this National Workplace Wellness Policy, the origins were quite interesting. In 2015, Orlando Gabby Scott, he was at the Barbados Workers Union at the time, came to me and asked me, does any country have a national workplace wellness policy? Now, he recognized that different workplaces, as you said, would attempt and play around with their variation of a workplace wellness program or policy, but there was no overarching guide or framework known as a National Workplace Wellness Policy. And in 2015, I spent all of that year researching and realizing that there was no country that had a National Workplace Wellness Policy. So we started the work in earnest to say that Barbados will be the first country to have a National Workplace Wellness Policy that provides that umbrella structure and coordination support for those workplaces that may want to venture into developing their own wellness initiatives and would want support and guidance in the same.
All right, with that said, based on your research and where we're going, what falls under that banner of wellness?
Okay, so wellness is really about what we do to improve our health. That's the simplest definition. So whether it covers diet, exercise, avoiding unnecessary stressful situations, improving our ability to communicate and relate to persons. In fact, under the policy is a multidimensional structure. So we define wellness in these 9 dimensions. So we have physical wellness, we have emotional or psychological wellness, we have environmental wellness, we have social wellness, we have spiritual wellness, we have financial wellness, occupational wellness, cultural wellness. There are 9 dimensions. And I think that is in keeping with the fact that wellness is not just a singular dimension. It's not just your physical health. It's not just the exercise. It's also your mental, it's your spiritual, it's your environment, how you keep your environment safe and tidy, and even your spiritual side. So it's multidimensional.
Where are we on this research and kind of getting the level of buy-in that we need to be able to see an impact in workplaces across the island in a really significant way?
Okay. I'm happy you talk about the research, because the policy, which was driven by research itself, actually was approved by the Cabinet of Barbados in 2019. And we were inactive due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and we restarted in earnest the implementation phase in 2022. And there's a National Committee of Workplace Wellness, which is chaired by the Minister of Labour, Social Security and Third Sector. And there's a subcommittee of which I sit in. And that subcommittee is responsible for promotion and awareness and, of course, research. Now, a lot of the research is showing that wellness is not something that is just the employee's responsibility in a workplace. Both employer and employee share that responsibility. And if you're aware, the Safety and Health at Work Act, our loan legislation that governs health and safety, also says that there's a duty of care from the employer side. What we're proposing from the wellness policy is that this shared responsibility has to come into light when it comes to all of these dimensions of wellness. So the research is very clear on that shared responsibility. I think the second thing that the research also speaks to is the fact that we can't just educate people about wellness. There's a framework I coined in 2019 known as the 4E framework. So it says that education is not the only thing you have to do. That's the first E. You have to also provide resources. That's the enabling feature. So you provide resources and support in the workplace to support the transfer of those skills, those skills that you as an employee may have learned through the educational function. And then you have the engagement. You have to involve workers in the design and implementation of workplace wellness. And then finally, you have to incentivize them. You have to encourage them. Because you normally would have this plateau effect where everybody's gung-ho and passionate about wellness, and then by July, it falls off or after crop over. So how do you keep this momentum? You have to ensure that incentives are properly aligned with these desirable wellness activities and behaviors.
Now, in mentioning the 9 tenets,
Yeah.
there's some things that are outside of the scope of what employees can really see after themselves when we talk about environmental concerns and things of that nature. So what's within your research and the implementation or even policing of the policy that will ensure that these particular tenets, where employees don't necessarily have, within their direct reach, the opportunity to make major changes in a way that might benefit them and their colleagues, how do you plan to address things like that with the work that you're doing?
Great. Now, one of the things that we do reiterate is that the policy itself is not legislative in any format. So it doesn't make any mandates on employers.
You see, that's what I was getting at.
Right.
Because then the opt-in, opt-out, it says then, okay, well, you can do it if you don't. But we're hearing about so many companies around the island, inclusive of government offices, just heard of another few, that have environmental concerns. And this is one of the major things that employees are grappling with. So are we going to continue to have all this legislation and research that really, no teeth, a whole lot of gum, and then we allow people to say, oh, well, don't really have to do any of it? How truly impactful is it for the employees in Barbados?
Well, I think that's an interesting argument that has been put forward in terms of how policies and legislations differ from each other. And we believe that from a policy perspective, that its main role is to educate and support. I mean, the movement to legislation is something that we are still moving towards, because there's nothing that divorces the whole move for legislation from the implementation of this policy, because clearly we would want, coming off of the policy, more strong, more robust and stronger legislation. The problem that I think we have is that you can go too far right and end up left. So you have a situation where you can, yes, have all the legislation in place, but then there's still that educational gap. There's still that gap in terms of resources. You have employers who say, well, there's legislation there, and I would want to do that, but I don't know how to do it. I don't have the resources. I don't have the support systems. I think policies serve as good intervening mechanisms to help implementation, because as articulate, as strong as legislation is, you still need good policy to allow for implementation. And I always speak about implementation deficit disorder. We have these lovely looking things, whether they're policies or legislative devices, and they have, as you said, no teeth, not because they're not mandates in place, but there's no monitoring and evaluation. There's no throughput into execution. And I think a lot of employers are really in need of that kind of training on how to implement these programs.
Yeah. I think a lot of us are kind of over a lot of on paper stuff that looks good on paper. It's almost like checking things off of the list, but there's never, as you said, monitoring, evaluation, follow through. There really is, no recourse. You don't know, how they're instituted and if they really work, because I can eat 12 apples in a day, and then if I'm in an environment that is still a high stress environment where, an employer doesn't necessarily, take note of personal time, or the fact that when I go out, these are policies I understand that have to work in tandem with legislation and in different areas. But I think sometimes because some of them are kind of instituted in silos, or different people are working on different things, ne'er shall the twain meet. So they kind of run parallel, and we know what happens with parallel lines. They never ever meet. And so then the employees are kind of left out to sea. So we get together and we talk about health and wellness, and I'm happy to hear about the spiritual side of things and all of these tenets which make absolute sense and tie in. And added to that, I think the conversation has to include corporate responsibility as well. True. And I agree with you that you can't stand up with a big stick and say you have to, because too far left is right, as you mentioned. But where do we strike the balance then? As a Human Resources Management Association of Barbados, much of your membership, the membership for them, they work along with the workplaces, and they work on strategy and coming up with taking care of this resource that you need to be able to keep your businesses and services running. But do we truly work toward taking care of our most important resource is the real question.
Yeah, let me say I commend HERMAP. HERMAP sits as a partner on the committee currently, and I say that it's always difficult to strike that balance. Here you have employers, especially if those who work in the private sector, their appetite tend to be the bottom line, making the money. And oftentimes it comes at the expense of the health of the employee and even the management themselves. So I think one of the things that we need to do is to constantly remind employers about that shared duty of care, that shared responsibility for health and wellness. And I think you mentioned the notion of research. I think research is very clear about the link between a healthy workplace and a very healthy bottom line as well. And I think part of our initiative right now as a subcommittee and a national committee is to educate as much as possible employers about the importance of making their workers more healthy, because that is going to make a tremendous impact on that bottom line. So when you start ignoring health and wellness and you focus just on the money, you're not going to see it. Everything is aligned, and those two paths actually meet.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the data collection? How do you plan to do this? Are you going to get employers on board to be able to share what they're doing, changes that they might be seeing with employees in terms of how they're able to perform their duties, their wellness? Are you working with insurance companies, for example, to be able to see, because, we're hearing that there are a lot of claims, there are a lot of sick claims from employees and so on. And in recent times, lots of stress.
Lots of stress.
When I started working, I couldn't tell anybody I was stressed out. They were like, oh, that's an invisible thing. Nobody knows, that's not a real thing. Now we know it is in fact a real thing. So where are we gathering this data from, and how do we intend to share it? because a lot of times we do a lot of
Yeah.
data gathering and it's a big secret.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about it.
Yeah. One of the things that we are actually building our partnerships with employers across different sectors. So whether it be BHTA, HERMAB, other types of employer type associations, BEC, Barbados Employers Confederation. And we want to be able to have access to those organizations to have a conversation, not just with the employees, but the management. What are your needs? And we are working diligently with the Ministry of Labour, who's the lead ministry behind this policy, to provide that kind of research support. So we're gathering data in that vein, and then we're going to feed that back into the committee, and then that will help us inform our interventions. We're actually building a website now that is going to provide advertising and promotion for the kind of work that we're doing and keeping Barbadians up to date on the steps that we're taking with respect to the implementation process. Workplace Wellness BB is our Instagram. We're encouraging all Barbadians to go and sign up. Looking forward to that improvement, and even on the Facebook as well.
Who are you targeting? Because when we talk about the workforce, I know we have an aging workforce in Barbados, but generally, research shows that we really need to start earlier. So where are you meeting people where they are, and who are you really targeting with this particular net, which is really the crux of this new policy?
Okay, so we are actually targeting employers, we're targeting trade unions, we're also targeting employees, but generally the wider public is going to be part of this process, this whole conversation, because all of us are affected by wellness in some way, but those will be our key targets, and all associations coming together that represent the interests of trade unions, employees, government, private sector, so it's an all-country affair, so to speak.
Good stuff. Dr. Devonish, what do you see as maybe some of the major hurdles that you'll have to be able to overcome to kind of get people on board with this? We know when we start talking about wellness and sometimes getting people to get in the frame of mind of taking care of themselves, it's way down the line. Yeah,
I think right now the biggest hurdle is the lack of awareness on how we actually take care of ourselves and how we take care of our employees. There's still, yes, we have a lot of information, but I don't think there's a lot of transfer of that information into actual application. So teaching employers and management how to take the training and apply it into the real world, I think that's the biggest challenge now.
All right, I look forward to the rollout.
Thank you.
You're doing work. It's been happening for a little while, got stopped. Now you're kind of back on track. But it's great to hear that it's going to be a conversation that involves both employers and employees so that we can work together to really reach that end goal of wellness.
For sure.
In all those facets that you talked about.
Yeah.
All right, so Dr. Dwayne Devonish, Professor of Management and Organizational Behavior, and telling us all about a move toward a national wellness policy for Barbados. So what does that mean to you, and how does it impact on you and your family, how you engage every day in your workspaces, whether it's at home or in a workspace, an actual brick and mortar workspace? All of those are things that we need to consider as we get ready for this national dialogue. All right, a special good morning to everybody from HERMAB for facilitating this conversation as well. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much too.
All right, time for another break on Mornin Barbados. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We enjoy a game of dominoes and singing karaoke.
I just love cruise.
When you love me just a little bit longer.
You get to relax and have a drink and listen to some nice music.
It's something different. It's spectacular. It's fabulous. It's a different feeling altogether.
I never feel so good in a party yet.
Follow me to Q in the Community this Thursday.
So good in a party yet. You know why?
While you go about your business, we go about our business, and that is gathering the news. Stay up to date at CBC News Barbados on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Get news update on radio throughout the day. And join us for the CBC News Night at 7 every night. CBC News team is on the job and bringing you the news.
Calling all Socoholics! The highly anticipated Soca pop-up party of the season is back! Follow us to a different location every Friday night from 8 p.m. from May 10th to June 14th for the Barbados Lottery White Oak Rum 98.1 The One Soca Stock pop-up party. We bring you the music and giveaways, and you bring the vibes and the action.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well, we at Mornin Barbados would love to have you or them on our Bajan Afar segment. Share your amazing stories, experiences, and how you have adapted to a new culture. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.vb. And together we will travel the world.
From 98.1 to CBC TV8 comes the Soca Avenue, the sweetest soca hour in radio. It's artists with new tunes and some old sweet ones too, jamming on the Soca Avenue. Saturdays, join AON Skills and the crew down on Soca Avenue, all new on CBC TV8. Feeling the festival.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the French...
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Sitting on the couch with me is Dr. Anthony Cummins, founder and principal psychologist, Center for Solutions at Influence, Inc., and he's here to talk about a free pre-Father's Day 5K fun walk. And we were trying to figure out whether I've done one or two interviews about this before, but whatever the case is, welcome and good morning.
Well, thank you so much, Tisha. Thank you so much, Barbados. Good to be out on the air with you all today.
So talk to us all about this fun walk that's coming up, just for the dads.
Yes. Well, mainly to celebrate the dads, but also to encourage the mothers to be a part of this event. This is the third Father's Day fun walk that we'll be having under the theme, I'm walking with my family. And it's particularly to help the family come together to spend quality time, even if it was for 4 hours. And I said 4 hours simply because, you would take time to prepare, then the walk is about an hour and 10, 15 minutes. And then after that, you will be able to go somewhere and relate with your children and parents and that kind of stuff. So definitely on Saturday, the walk begins at 3:30 p.m. We begin by Saul Redmond's Village. I have to remember that because the walk used to begin at Saul Warren's, but it is now at Saul Redmond's Village. We're going to take the route through Hoyt's Village, right up down, make the left at Thorpe's, St. James, across to Husbands in front of Queen's College School, over to Hines Hill. Then we go down University Hill and come across, turn right at the traffic lights there to Wanstead, West Terrace. You pass the West Terrace Primary School over to Otsners. We come there right by the pastor at Otsners there.
All right, that's beautiful. That's a nice route. I see your shirt and your hat branded. It says for men and fathers. Is this the general work of your organization?
Yes, it is.
For the most part.
Yes, it is. Because the Center for Solutions and Influence is an organization that caters to at-risk boys and girls. And out of the counseling and the evaluations, we've got much database evidence to suggest that there's a major gap between the relationship between fathers and children. And one of the things that we did was to establish the Center for Solutions and Influence for Men and Fathers, hence the CSI for Men and Fathers. This is geared towards helping men to understand that the absence of them in the children's life is causing too much harm in our society. And then, so we're in this walk is like a clarion call to get fathers to start paying attention. But if it is one thing that we need to pay a lot of attention to, it's to at least encourage the mothers to be part of the walk. The mothers cannot be left out. As you know, we cannot do it without the ladies. And as much as men organizations would like to believe that we can do that, a lot of times we can't do it without the ladies.
They don't believe that. I would never believe that. They don't believe that. I think we just need to be able to work a little more closely together. And your organization most certainly is doing that. So make sure you come out this Saturday, 15th June, 3:30. The sun will begin to cool a little bit. I know these days it's very hot. Make sure that you get on out. It's free, and it's a pre-Father's Day 5K fun walk. Are we wearing any particular color, or are we just putting on what we want to and coming out to support?
Yes, we are encouraging persons to wear white T-shirts, mark them up as nice as possible. We are referring to it as DIY, not do it yourself, but design it yourself, so that you can mark nice statements onto, parents can mark nice statements onto their children, and children can mark statements onto their dads. Dad, I love you. Mom, I love you. That kind of thing. So what we need to also pay attention to is that we want persons to behave themselves on the street. The police is going to be there to guide us and to help us along. We also want us to pay attention to all of the road signage and so on. This is our third walk. It is looking good. We are trying to get into the minds of the sponsors, so we want to have good behavior. We want to make sure that the message is pushed tremendously and that more people will continue to join, because every year we are seeing an increase adding to the numbers of people, participants and so on. So wear your white T-shirts, mark them up, send loud messages, but encouragement. One of the things that must be said, Tisha, is that oftentimes people, it come across with the limited time that you have in promotions, it come across as though we are trying to lash men for not taking care of their children. This is not what we are doing. We are encouraging men to pay more attention to their children, because there is an improvement with men.
Good stuff. One thing that I've noticed over time, and I don't know if people will agree with me, but for Mother's Day, we salute, applaud, do a lot of positive things for women. And when it's Father's Day, we talk or look at some of the negative things that come out for men. And I think it's time that we use this day as a day. There are other days we could talk about other things, but we use this day as a day to celebrate the dads, the men who are doing good things and who are deserving of the accolades. So I hope that everybody will come out, do it yourself, design it yourself, get those T-shirts out, wear white, let's come out, support dads on Saturday, the 15th of June, 3:30, to be a part of this 5K walk. Thank you so much, Dr. Cummins.
Yes.
All right. Make
Nichols
sure that
Bakery,
you come out
Good Times, Jordan's, Bibisco.
Right.
We thank you so
much.
much.
Have a good one.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Welcome to the Crop Over Sweet Spot, your go-to show for all things Crop Over 2024. We'll dive into the big issues of the day with exclusive interviews with the entertainers, the experts, the movers and shakers of the festival, plus you, the audience. Get to join the conversation and share your views. Tune in to CBC TV 8 every Friday night for the ultimate crop over experience with yours truly, the Admiral. We're big on everything Crop Over 2024. The Crop Over Sweet Spot, brought to you with the kind compliments of Axel Finance.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey, 6 minutes now before 8 o'clock, 6 before 8. Renia Gaskin is joining me now, and she is the winner of the Model of the Year 2024 for the Guyana Award. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Cue applause, fellas. Yeah. It must really make you feel good to be able to have that title on your shoulder.
What I will say, I'm actually very surprised. We had so much great nominees next to me, and I'm actually very honored. I honestly did not think that I was able to be...
Why? Why did you think that it shouldn't be you?
That's a good question. I think me as an individual, I doubt myself a lot. And I guess I need to break out of that shell. And that's why support is very important. So I would like to say that I would like to thank everybody that voted for me. My parents, still but unmarried, that still me today. All my mentors, everybody who encouraged me, because I wouldn't be this far without them. So thank you.
Yeah. Usually when we think of models and modeling, we don't think of indecision. And we don't think of someone who might be thinking, why me or why not me? So talk to me about the work that you've done through the years that really has brought you to this place where you're able to now accept this title.
It takes a lot. Well, let me reframe that. It does not take a lot. Opportunities present itself every single day, and as an individual you need to break past the shell where you are shy or you feel like you can't do it, because can't is a man that don't try, if you ever heard that statement before. Being to progress in life, you need to be uncomfortable. If you're not uncomfortable, that means you're not going anywhere. There's so many, I would say, leaps that I've been through in my life where I've represented Barbados in netball. I've did Miss World. You never know until you try. And everything just feels like it is so random, but it has a purpose and it falls into place. So every opportunity you may be presented with in life, I think you should take it. You never know. You never know.
And now with this opportunity, how are you going to use this? How are you going to use this platform to empower others who might not be as confident, who want to move to another place?
I will say that it hasn't settled in just yet. What I will say, like I said before, being comfortable is not a place where you want to be forever in life. You need to be uncomfortable to know that you're progressing. You need to take every opportunity that presents itself, even though you think it's random. Most things in life are random, but they have a purpose, they have a reason. It will shape you as an individual, it will shape your character. Make sure you have the support, make sure you seek the support, make sure you seek the help, because having a great support system would never let you down. You will always be testament of you as an individual and shaping you as a person.
All right, so you're a traditional pageant girl, as we would call it.
Not necessarily.
You're also an exhibition. Weren't you in the Miss Barbados World Pageant?
Like I said,
competition 2023?
Everything was by chance.
Yeah, but then you're officially a pageant girl if you're a pageant, man.
I guess so.
Yeah, so you were part of that, and you're in the beauty and wellness industry as well. So all of that ties in with you kind of presenting your best face as a model as well. So again, congratulations. You well deserve it. TV is not doing her justice. Very, very beautiful and well deserving. And people know why they vote. Because what we know is beauty and poise emanates past even just what we see. It's something that comes from within. And you have it going on.
Thank you.
So congratulations to you. And I'm so happy that Gainon Awards is able to award and reward people in all areas of society for what they do.
Yes,
you deserve it, girl.
Thank you.
Yeah?
I appreciate it.
Every single vote. And I won't tell you if I voted for you or not. Yeah?
It was a pleasure.
Good stuff. So what's next for you?
So right now, I am an esthetician, if you did not know. I am on my entrepreneurial pursuits right now. I'm looking to open a spa shortly. Fingers crossed. All positivity in the air. I provide non-invasive treatments, massage therapy, ultrasonic cavitation, RF skin tightening therapy, etc. So if you are interested, feel free to contact me or follow me on Instagram to keep updated.
All right, we definitely will follow. What's your handle?
Rhenia, so RHE.NEA.
All right. Rhenia, we're looking out for you. I'm going to add you before I go so I can share with all the people coming through. Again, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Keep that light shining.
Yes, please.
Good stuff. All right, so coming up tomorrow, new music, Alan Shepard is going to be on Mornin Barbados. He has a new song in honor of the T20 series. Hopefully the West Indies will win. Hey, it's called One More. One more title for the West Indies. We'll see tomorrow when Alan Shepard comes through. Pinelands Creative Workshop and the SJPI They have a satellite program facilitating inclusive development in communities, and we're going to tell you more about that. Plus, the upcoming cosplay, the culture, which is celebrating our rich cultural heritage through the vibrant and creative medium of cosplay in Barbados, is being held at the Barbados Museum and Historical Society. We'll tell you more about that too. So come on back tomorrow. Have a great day today, and make sure that when I show up here, you're on the other end. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.